I've had the privilege and pleasure of partnering with the Baldwinsville Public Library for, goodness, about 16 years. My son Billy is 17 this summer, and he was just a little guy when we got started. And so I've been sharing card making every second Thursday of the month for about 16 years at the library. And we had a little hiatus with some at-home stamping like we're doing tonight. And it's been great to still kind of widen our audience and extend people who may not have the opportunity to join us in person. So we're delighted that you're watching tonight, either on Zoom or live on Facebook or catching the recording, the replay. Again, my name is Missy Shipman, and many thanks to Julia and the Baldwinsville Public Library for partnering so that we can share my love of paper crafting and card making. Today is Thursday, July 12th, and we'll be creating cards using supplies provided in kits that many of you picked up from the library. Each month there's a kit available to you. You do need to sign up ahead because we have a limited number. And then on the Friday morning following the second Thursday, we have our in-person class, which features kits. And kits are a wonderful way to learn techniques and tricks with rubber stamping, but also to add to your collection, because part of the supply fee includes the stamp set and ink and the block and all the pieces and parts to make lots of projects. So more about that in a little bit. I'll be using some of the stamp sets that we're showcasing tomorrow. I'll be using them on our cards tonight, so you'll have some fun sneak peeks. So great, Julia, I'll have you show my hands, the screen that has my hands. We can pin or spotlight that for the recording. And you'll see that I have 3 card choices that we're starting with. So if you had that purple packet, you'll find one card that has a white envelope and the white inside. There we go. So it'll be a white note card that's already scored here for you, so you can fold on that score line and crease to make your card base. And then you also have that envelope that coordinates in size. This is one of my favorite projects with Stampin' Up! That have the card bases already cut and ready for me. It's called the note card size, and it's large enough to mail. If they're smaller than this, then you usually can't mail them unless you put them in a different envelope. But note cards are great for when you want to send a little love in the mail. Maybe you have a check that you need to send out to a friend or a bill to pay. When you tuck it in a card like this, it adds a lot of sunshine. So you either have the green kit, the blue kit, or the fruit striped gum rainbow kit, all right? But we're gonna kind of make these alongside one another tonight. I'm gonna be working on them. So you can, as you know, each month you can watch start to finish and just get the ideas. You might choose to stamp along with me. Sometimes my pace is a little rapid, so I don't want you to panic about being behind. Know that the recording will be available for you to go back and watch. That's great too. You can pause, rewind, replay, fast forward to get to the parts you want. So don't worry if you get a little bit behind. And again, many people have said what they really enjoy doing is watching the video first, and then they can see all the different elements that are in the kit and maybe create their own variation. Mary and I were just talking about the fun we have in personalizing the pieces and parts. Your project does not have to look the same as mine. Now I'm going to flip this around because these are indeed raindrops and we want that shape to be in the proper orientation. I'm going to use some of my, oh, look what I'm covering up on the back here, this beautiful paper. So that's the other thing when we do our classes, you know that you can vary your card design based on the front and back of your designer series paper. Now, most of my card designs usually have a little border, like a frame around the edge, but this is cut to fit right on top and to cover that full piece of the note card. So there's my blue one. Let me jump over to the green one. If you have one of the parts with the tulips in it, we'll do the same thing. We'll fold on that score line. And I'm going to take, this has pretty tulips on the back. Some of them have been punched out for you if you have the tulip kit. Again, it's going to fit right edge to edge on that white note card. We'll smooth that down. So now we have our green base, our blue base, and we'll do our fruit stripe gum. I love to say that. I remember fruit stripe gum growing up, and it's a kind of gum that it's sweet and delicious for, I don't know, 10 seconds or so, and then the flavor is gone, but it is fun, right? If you're a gum chewer, you can put that in the chat or go off mute and tell me about any funny bubble gum or gum stories that you have while we're working tonight. Okay, so we have our 3 card bases. Remember, you have one of these to play with tonight to get some new ideas. And let's do our stamping next so that we can use one of the stamp sets that I'll be showing, featuring tomorrow at our in-person class. Along with all of you have a white piece of cardstock like this in your kit. And so we're going to stamp them today. Let's see, the raindrop one has an umbrella on it, and I thought it would be a great one to do something with sunshine and kindness. So this is a stamp that's part of the kindness kit that we'll be using tomorrow, and it says, "Your smile makes the world a brighter place." So this is a card that could be kind of a get well card or a cheer up kind of card, thinking of you card, because it has this umbrella and the rain. We often think that rain's kind of quiet or more of a sad time, but we need rain, don't we? Especially in our area lately, it's been pretty dry. So rain brings rainbows, rain brings April showers, bring May flowers. So I'm all for having some rain, just not on our picnic days, okay? So now I'm gonna go ahead and layer this greeting onto this little piece of blue. If you have a blue kit, then you have some tiny little hearts here, which are pretty. It's kind of like a fabric rickrack almost, a little layer there. And let's put that onto our card. Now, if you've stamped with me before, you know that I love dimensionals, because these little sticker pop-up foam stickers just add a really neat effect of shadow and depth. So I'm going to peel off the little white backings. If you have these in your collection, you can enjoy them too. If you don't, you can go ahead and put it on with a different adhesive. That's okay. Now you'll notice the umbrella has 2 pieces to it. They're a little bit fussy. So I'm going to first attach using one of my dimensionals that I just set aside here. I'll keep them closer to me tonight. I'm going to use one of those to act as a little glue dot, kind of to hold the umbrella handle like that. And then I can go ahead and put 2 more here, because I'm going to have my umbrella also elevated a little bit. You remind me if I go off screen, okay? I'm trying to keep centered here for you. There's the little umbrella. Let's tuck it up on the top. I also have a couple little flowers here, so we can go ahead and put them with a little bit of the Tombow multi-purpose glue that I love. It's a strong adhesive, but because it gives you because it doesn't set right away, it gives you a little wiggle room. So here we have, your smile makes the world a brighter place. What fun that would be for somebody if they're just kind of having some quiet time or an illness. And each of you, for all 3 colors, you have some of these little beautiful rhinestones. Now they're actually on a string of adhesive. So if you want to be generous on this card and put this whole string of rhinestones right along your greeting, you can feel free to do that. What I'm going to do for the umbrella card is cut them apart. I'm just cutting to get that adhesive line cut underneath the gems. And I like this polka dot pattern on the umbrella. So I'm going to go ahead and add some little gems to those dots. All right. Oh, they're going to jump around for me tonight. Forgot to show you my new tweezers. Next month, I'll be sure. I have some new, they're called reverse tweezers, and they're a wonderful craft tool that's new to me. I think it's been around for a while, but new to me. But I like to use my fingernails, or you can use the tip of your scissors. Let's just go ahead, put a couple more on here on the the bigger dog.
Take your pick tool works good too.
Yes, thank you, Mary. The Take Your Pick tool is a wonderful, versatile tool. So there you can see I've got some sparkly gems on the umbrella. All right, so if you have your blue one, that's all set. We'll set that right there. I'm going to next do the fruit striped gum, okay? Now this one I thought would be a fun one for birthdays. It has some little flower cutouts. Again, it has a lot of those gems. So let's go ahead and stamp a birthday greeting. And this is going to say, I've got a stamp that says happy, happy birthday, and a stamp that says wishing you a. So we're going to stamp both of those greetings. First, we'll do the happy, happy birthday. This is in the stamp color called Coastal Cabana. I'm going to put that right sort of at the bottom so that I have a room right above to put the wishing you. And let's use our Just Jade, just so there's a little bit different shading for this one. We're going to ink up. You'll notice I'm using the little spots tonight as my ink. These little ink spots. These are what come in the kits. When you do the $20 kit on a Friday morning with me, you'll have a ink spot in your kit along with one of these clear blocks and your full stamp set. So those two shades are similar, but it's giving a little variation. Wishing you a happy, happy birthday. So I'm going to place that across here. Again, with my dimensionals, right? Let's give a little depth to the project. Put that on camera for you. I'm delighted to be here with you. Last month, I was in Florida with my son, and so we had a video class, and I hope that worked well for everybody. But I'm happy to be in live tonight with you. It's always fun to gather. Let's see, I'm just going to fiddle with these flowers. Yours may be different colors than mine, but they're all fun, joyful colors.
And I notice you're working on that triangle that you always try to.
Oh, thank you, Julia. Yes, yes. The way our eyes like to move around is with odd numbers or in a triangle shape. So I'm fiddling with where the placement of the flowers. If you want, you could put all three together like a little bouquet there. That would look great too, I think. There aren't any rules. You could put them in the corners. But I find if I orient things in a triangle fashion, then my eye moves around the card, and I like that. Okay, let's pop up these little guys, and then we're going to add some gems.
Yeah, last month a few of us watched the video together on Zoom.
Wonderful. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Julia, for making that work for me. I had a wonderful visit with my son. We drove to Florida, and then I stayed with him for about a week at the start of his internship. And it was very hot. It was a wonderful time. It was a part of Florida we'd never been to before, so there was a lot to explore. South Florida. He'll be there for another couple weeks. I'm going to fly down at the start of August and drive back with him. So it's been a great learning experience, and he's really been enjoying his internship. So we're proud of him. He'll be a senior in college this year. I can't really think about that too much. So there we have those three sparkly gems. Now remember, you have a lot of these. So you can keep them as a string. Like it might be fun to put a little bit above that wishing you a. Let's try that. I'm going to snip off the length that I want. So you'll see I'm going to place it above the wishing you here. They're all kind of stuck together. There's a little piece of sticky adhesive connecting them. It's a little bit fragile. I'm going to put that right above the wishing you a happy birthday, just to add some extra bling there. And you may save these for another project if you like. A little goes a long way sometimes, especially if you cut them apart. But sometimes it's worth having just a very bold kind of statement with many rhinestones.
It'd be underneath it too.
Yes, you could have it be under wishing you a, or you could put it over here, the happy birthday. You can mix around where you like it to go. All right, let's finish up this section with our green card. And this one has some fun tulips. So I thought this would be another fun one for a kindness card. And so I'm going to go back to that stamp set that we're using tomorrow with our kindness. And we use the Your Smile Makes the World a Brighter Place. But now I'd like to use the one that says inspired by your kindness, because this would be a really nice little thank you card. If somebody does something special for you that you appreciate, or maybe you observe someone sharing kindness with others, then you might want to give them this card, inspired by your kindness. Okay, so this one I'm actually going to cut. You'll see I want it to be a little bit smaller in the center of my project. So let's put the tulips together first. Again, we're going to pop them up. I'm going to pop up the one. Now, again, yours are different colors, so you can mix and match how you like. Since I have one that's darker and two that are lighter, I'm going to kind of have the darker one popped up, and the lighter ones are going to be just glued flat.
Can you double up the dimensionals to make it, like, if you wanted
To
one of
even
them
have it more popped up? Yes,
one
yes,
popped
I
up
can
more
show
and
you that.
the two?
I'll take this one off and show you. So what you would do is put them on and remove the paper. If you don't remove the paper, then it could come apart. So then you're going to put the sticky right on top of the other sticky. And now it has two dimensionals, so it's really puffy. So let's go with this. We're gonna put the really puffy one up. And then these other guys we can pop up just with one. Let's see what that looks like. I'm putting two on, but it's one layer, okay? So, oh, this is gonna be really a great garden. Maybe even one just flat. Oh, we'll put two. We almost always, I like to pop stuff up. There we are. Now, when I was in Florida with Matthew, I went to this beautiful garden called the Flamingo Gardens. And there weren't tulips there, of course, because I don't think of tulips as being a tropical plant, but there were spectacular plants. And I'm going to go there again when I go down this time. I'll pay attention more to some of the names of things so I can tell you the names. But I may be able to create some projects inspired by that visit, because there also were peacocks just walking around. It was really, really cool.
I
So you
think
see,
on
I'm just kind of
tulips,
fiddling.
yeah,
Go
I think
ahead.
on tulips, the leaves are usually coming off the stem. So,
True, we don't want to put them so high, do we?
although that looks fine. I mean, that looks good, but
Yeah, but you're right. That's why I have this little piece of the granny apple green, because I thought we would cut a few stems and tuck them in. And you're right, this is how we want the stems to be, like coming out like this, right? Or the petals, leaves. So we'll tuck these guys, kind of get it the way you like it. Because what I'm going to do is place the label kind of covering where all that little mess is inside. So I don't have to be too neat. I can put a little glue down. And then I can tuck those back in here again. This is a fun time for me. I call this kind of card a collage card, right? We have several pieces that we've either punched or fussy cut, and we're just going to kind of gather them together in a way that's pleasing to you. So yours will look different from mine. It might have different colors. You may position your leaves differently, but it's really just to kind of create that depth and a collage of color and good wishes. This time I'm just putting the dimensionals on the edges because it's already got some bulk here, and I'm going to, I don't need one in the middle. I'm just going to anchor down here, purposely putting it off to the side. Some people like things very symmetrical and balanced that way. So again, you're the designer. You can do it the way you like. I'm going to throw one more in here just to make it kind of interesting, so that it's not really symmetric. Although now I have 4, and usually I like an odd number. So maybe I won't do that. We'll keep it this way. But what's missing, my friends? What have we not added yet? our bling, right?
Bling.
So what do you think for this one? I do like the idea that we did where we had the strip underneath. That's one possibility. Okay. Also, they're nice just to kind of have, it's almost like dewdrops. We're just kind of sprinkling them. So I think what I'll do is sprinkle some, and then maybe we'll still add that strip because it's fun to have a bold statement. So here I'm just going to sprinkle 1, 2. I'll put another one maybe down
Or
here.
maybe
So
on it.
again, go ahead.
What if you put the third one on the yellow or something?
Oh, that's a good idea. So it's like the dew.
Does that look
Yeah.
weird or does that look good?
That's beautiful. 1, 2, 3. And then if you want to add the extra on the bottom here, you could. Yay or nay? What do you think, friends?
I'd go with nay, but that's just
No,
me.
because you like the simple. Also, you could do 5. You know, you could have like 3 up here and 2 down here. So we had a little bit more. Okay, we'll leave it this way, knowing that you get to make it the way you like. So I'm going to set aside my rhinestones because I know I'm going to enjoy them for other projects. And before we move to our little Christmas in July project, I want to just show you the kits for tomorrow. Okay, so first I'm going to set these guys aside. 1, 2, 3. We also have a fun envelope you can decorate as well, with stamps or with stickers or with gems. But before I show you the Christmas stuff, I want to show you the kits for tomorrow. So this one is called the Kindness Kit, Kindness Cards Kit. And what's fun is it comes with this really cool tin. It's a very sturdy metal tin. You could put candy or tea or all kinds of good things inside, jewelry. You could collect little pieces that you're collecting for your cards, little fussy cut pieces or buttons. But inside are the supplies to make, let's see, it's either 8 or 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it might be 8 of these fun, I call them coaster cards. They're a heavier weight chipboard, and they have some metallic accents, and the greetings are just fantastic on these. So they're too small to mail, obviously, in this envelope. You'd need to put them in a larger envelope to mail. But what fun they would be in a lunchbox or handed to your bank teller when he or she is helping you, or at the grocery store. They're just little pay it forward, happy kindness cards. So that's the one of the options for tomorrow. And the other is called Light the Candles. This is a kit that keeps going out of stock, but it was recently put back availability and I grabbed a whole bunch for us. So this one has these fun pop-up cards with some glitter elements in them. And they're a lot of fun with some bold colors and patterns. The envelopes are printed on the inside with the fun patterns. So this one makes 8, 4 of each of the candles card. So that's another option for tomorrow. But now I want to share a little bit of Christmas in July. So you either have, there's 2 kits, and one of them has horizontal stitching in gold, and the other has, whoop, I didn't do that one. Let me fix my sample here. I put the sample on the crumb cake side, which is simply elegant, but when you have it on the gold, look at how that really jumps out. Let me switch it around. Okay, so you have one or the other, okay? And what I liked about these is the gold elements also in the kit, and I only have 2 of these Christmas kits left. If it's something that you're interested in, you can let me know. I just have 2 of the full kit to make these, and it would, I believe, makes 4 of each of them. But it has words like joy and love and peace. And so it doesn't have to be just at Christmas time or holiday time. You could create with these words for other times. So even though this has the colors with the green and the cherry cobbler, sending peace is a welcome message any time of the year. And you might choose to just substitute, instead of having the wreath element in your card that you make, if you got one that says peace, and you could substitute that. The stitching in gold, I think, makes it really elegant, but and I often think of silver and gold for holiday time, but it actually is lovely. Obviously, silver and gold all year round as a kind of fancy element to cards. So let's begin with the one that says sending peace. Well, your words are going to be different possibly, but let's see. I think I have peace in this one too. Okay. The cards, you'll notice the envelopes inside have this beautiful cherry cobbler print with words in French, German, and English that say harmony, joy, love, peace. So that's kind of fun to be multicultural with languages. And that's the message for our world, indeed, for world peace. So we're going to fold the card along that score line. And this one is designed to be a portrait card. This one is designed to be a landscape card. So it's wider. But you, of course, can move your pieces around. So if you can choose which orientation you'd like. For this one, you can see it's quite simple. There is this embossed white piece. It looks like a sweater, a cable knit sweater here. And we're going to first wrap the cherry cobbler twine around that before we put it onto the card. So, and again, if you had yellow and blue ribbon, you could make a piece for Ukraine kind of card. Or you can get a jump on holiday crafting and make a Christmas card tonight. There we are. So I tied a little bow after wrapping the twine around, and then I'm going to put that on the card with the dimensionals. Okay. There we are. So if any of you have been to South Florida before, I would love to hear the things that you enjoyed, different advice about visiting or living there. Matthew will most likely live there after college. He'll likely be hired by the company he's working with now as an intern. And it's far away from us, but thank goodness for FaceTime and phone calls and airplanes. So here I can position the wreath however I'd like. Because I have the word peace here, I might this time, instead of having it say sending, I could have it say peace to you, or with love and peace. If you can put whatever kind of greeting you want on here that would go with peace. Peace be with you. And so that's something you can work on. And if you want it just depends if you're saying has the words in front of peace or the words after. So for sending peace, I put my greeting up higher. Okay. So on this one, I'm actually not going to put any other stamped greeting. I'm just going to keep it very simple with the wreath and the word peace.
I do like the peace be with you. That's
yes. So you could write that onto the smaller piece of white and have that be a very kind greeting. There we are. So this one, I'm going to put it a little bit off to the side. I sometimes like when things hang off the edge. You'll notice that in my style, I often have things, they're not perfectly symmetrical, or I think that is appealing to my eye, because it helps me to move around my eye. When you design your card, you usually want to have a place that directs your eye to the message or to the theme of the card. And so it's fun. This one has a lot of gold and, the different textures that you can touch and feel, and the shine of the word. I think it makes it very engaging. So because I'm going to place the piece up here, I only want to put adhesive maybe under the A and under the P, so it will stick to the wreath. But I really don't want a lot of adhesive over here because the wreath is bumped up. When you're working with tiny pieces like this, glue like the Tombow is helpful because it's a small opening for the glue. Another tip, if you don't have a glue that has a spine tip, is to make a little puddle of the glue on like a Tupperware lid or a piece of paper that you would throw away, and use a toothpick so that you can just get a very fine amount of glue for something that's very thin like this. So here's an example where it had some extra writing, and here's one that's just simple without that. But again, the Peace Be With You would be perfect right down here, Julia. Yeah. Now in this kit, I wanted to show you there's a stamp that has the more definition on the wreath. And I do really like this. So I wanted to show you on your wreath a couple ways you could add some more color to it. And one way would be to take a marker, and you'll notice this piece, there's sort of the evergreen boughs, and then there's other leaves mixed in. Can you see that? So on the stamped part, or the part that came in your kit, there's really just those evergreen pieces. It's hard to see because they're quite faint. But what I want to do now is add some of those more ovally shaped leaves and just kind of fill in some of the space and add a little bit more color to it. Do you see how I've done that? And you can make little lines as if it were extra stems. And then or you could use a colored pencil and do something very similar where you just kind of scribble in little pieces to give some more definition and shape. Here's some more little ovals and some scribblies. So that's just a way to add a little more, let's see, definition to the wreath. I do like the simplicity and the elegance that's just sort of a light and more muted. But sometimes you'll be working with something that just needs some more pop, or you want to make it a much bolder statement. So you could always alter your pieces with ink, with colored pencils. You could sponge ink on here. So many different possibilities. Any questions about that? Okay, so now let's do the one that's, if you have the variation with the vertical, well, the stripes, when you fold it here, it's the landscape card. But again, if you wanted the stitching to be vertical, you can put it in this direction. So this one has some more gold foil. You know I love that. And it also has these die cut pieces that are pre-colored for us with these brighter kind of Christmas rose, right? A bright color. So, we'll go ahead and we'll follow the pattern of making it a landscape card. We've got that fun sweater, cable knit sweater look. This one I'm going to put, I'm not going to pop up because there's so many other pieces that I'm going to build up. This one I'm just going to place flat. Okay. And then I have this twine, and instead of tying it like we did for the piece card, we're going to create a little bit of a nest. So I'm taking my twine and I will just wrap this around 3 or 4 fingers to make I call it a nest. It's just kind of I'm going to try again. I'm going to need to make it a little bigger. So I'm going to stretch my fingers apart and wrap it. And it's been twisted up, so it doesn't really want to lay flat. But what I want to do is anchor it down here so that it's going to show, you can see here just little pieces showing. So because it's so happy to be twisting tonight, I'm going to just pull through my fingers just a couple times to help stretch it to make it not quite so fiddly. And then because it's going to be this is all going to be covered up, I can go ahead and put some dimensionals here. Let's do it this way, or a little bit of other adhesive. And these I'm going to use to stick down a little bit of this twine. Let's see if we can have success kind of making what I call a nest. I'm going to stretch it around. Hope you can see this okay. It looks kind of fiddly now, doesn't it? This is one of those steps where I teach people it's better to just kind of roll with it than to try to make it exact, because however you put it down, it's going to shift again. So you could spend 20 minutes trying to get it to be like just so, when really it's going to shift again. Kind of like tie dye. It's one of those things where you just sort of see what happens and have fun with the ultimate result. I have a couple dimensionals here, but I need some more to make these roses have a spot to stick. Okay, put that down there. And I've got another one. This one, same, because I've got some dimensionals. I'm going to tuck a couple more on here to make it sticky. And place this one here. So this one, again, it was designed as a holiday card, but you could make it a lovely birthday card or just thinking of you. It'd be a pretty wedding card even. And then we're going to finish it up by adding on a label here. So again, we've got that twine just kind of dancing underneath. I'm going to go ahead and make this a Christmas card because I don't know about you, but it helps me to get a jump start if I work on some holiday things throughout the year.
You could even turn it sideways here at this point and still use it as
This part here?
Yeah, and put
Definitely.
the gold at the top or gold slantways either.
Yep, exactly. That would be kind of fun to have it as a banner look. Yeah, there's really no rules. If you want more of the rose to show, you could tuck it in and position it this way. This is where it's really fun to just experiment with the layout design. And so instead, like I went ahead and put my adhesives on as I went, but what you might choose to do is first just really fiddle around before you glue anything down, and play with how you might want to, more of the gold will show that way. Plus I like that, don't you? So more of the rose shows, a little more of the gold shows. But if you just first kind of use the pieces like a puzzle before you glue things down, that gives you a little more, many more options. So this color is called Just Jade. This is the color that comes in that Christmas. Oh, I keep picking up my little dimensionals here. Okay, so this one, go ahead. I'm gonna do Merry Christmas. Christmas in July. And then I'm going to add it to my card. So I think I'm going to put it a little bit off. My original one, you'll see it's more on top of the square. This one will put it a little more to the side. And this again is the fun of having card parts. When you get a kit, you have multiples, so you can make more than one different design using the same supplies. That's a lot of fun. If you're interested, if maybe something to try sometime is for me to include in your kit a double of a project so that you could play around and have two. That I'll remember to do that. Julia will help me remember. One of these months, one of the projects can be double, and that way you could kind of play around with your layout a little bit. So there's our Merry Christmas. All right, now we're going to finish tonight. Questions? Yeah?
Can I get one of those Christmas kits tomorrow?
Sure, Mary, I'll have it there. I just have two, so you got one, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So our final card tonight, I'm going to show you, this is kind of a prototype. It's not completed, but I wanted to show you. It's a pocket card, kind of like a double door card. Are they called double Dutch door? Is that what it's, I'm not sure. There's one, this is a kind of door that a house might have, and you open just the front part, the top part, and the of children, and they stay in the bottom
I think
door.
they call it a Dutch
I've never
door.
had a house that has a double door like that, but there are houses like that.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be fun to get a gift card? So I slipped that inside. But you could put, of course, tea inside, a tea bag, some cash, a check, a love note, a photograph. So I'm going to show you, we're going to put this really easy card together, and then we're going to add an element to the front. You either have a blue, a pool party card, or a coral one, okay? This month had a lot of choices because I had parts, not quite 21 of everything. So you had a variation. So the card is already cut and scored for you. It's a standard card size, which is half a sheet of cardstock. They are called, okay, thank you. They are called Dutch doors. I thought that. It must be in Holland. They have those. Our librarian will do some research for us. Thank you, Julia. A half a piece of cardstock is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And so I've cut that to size. I've scored it in half, and then I cut just half of it for us. So we have these two flaps. We have a top flap and a bottom one. Now the bottom one is the one that's going to be our pocket. So we're going to use a little bit of glue. You just want a thin line. Let me show you. I'm going to put it on the flap, the bottom flap. I'm just making a little wiggle, thin thread of glue. If you have a tape runner or something, that will work too. Just keep it right to the edge, okay, on these two sides, the open flap on the side and bottom. And then we'll fold and just give that a nice press to help the fibers connect, to help the glue do its job. So we'll, I went to Holland years and years ago, to the Netherlands, when I was in college. And I would love to go back to Europe to explore. I hope to have that privilege in the future. But I'm going to have to look for some photos of Dutch doors too. So, all right, so there's that. And now you'll have these fun, different pieces of designer series paper. Now they're different patterns on both sides, right? So you get to pick how you want your piece to be. They can match. You can have the top and bottom be the same, or you can mix and match. The patterns all coordinate with each other. So whatever you pick is splendid. My original one, I had the same. For this one, I'm going to make them opposite. Okay, so I'm going to use my glue again and just a thread around here to put that at the top. And there's a nice frame all the way around of that cardstock color. I like the circle paper. There's the element that we're going to add is the circle. So I wanted some circles to show, but you might have these other patterns. There were a bunch. Let's see, you might have one that looks like this. Whole bunch of patterns. Okay, and then notice on the inside here, I put my white piece because I want to have a place to write. But I'm going to hold off on that just for a minute because I have a stamp to put in there. Now, I think these two pieces were not in the envelope for you, but they were in the purple packet. So does everybody find a gold and a white circle? I hope. I don't think I had them ready when I packed up the actual cards. And see, okay, Julia, let's see. I would want paper that looks like, but I can't read the rest of the chat. So can you tell me?
That looks like wood, so it can look a door.
Oh, what a great idea. Let me make myself a note to get some wood paper for Julia. I'm going to grab my paper here. Wood. I have some wood grain paper, and what a great idea that is. We can do this design again with wood grain. Thank you. I love those good ideas. All right, for my greeting for this one, I'm going to go back to that fabulous kindness set. And this one is my favorite stamp in this set. It says, kindness wins. You are so amazing. And then in little letters, it says, let me remember here. No act of kindness is ever wasted, which is a wonderful Aesop's Fable message. Okay, so you can use any color you like here. The color that comes in the kindness kit is this nice basic gray. It's just that. It's a basic gray. It's a little bit dark. It's not as dark as black, but or as our basic black, but it's got a nice clean, neutral look to it. Now you'll notice this is a new stamp tonight, and you'll notice that it's kind of having a little trouble inking up. Do you see how it's kind of bubbling a little bit under there? A trick to fix that is take some scrap paper and ink it up, juice, 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 juice. And then on the scrap paper, stamp and twist and turn and twist and turn. Because when the photopolymer stamps are made, they're made in Utah, There's sometimes is a film that's on the photopolymer material, and it just takes a little bit of stamping to get that to go away. So now you'll see it's inking up much better. I'm going to do that one more time. It's especially important if your stamps have some bold spaces in them, okay? So now I'm going to ink it up, juicy, juicy juice. Let me show you on camera here. So sometimes when I use the spots, I hold the spot in my hands and tap it this way. I really want to get that covered well. Other times I'll walk the stamp across the spot. Okay, now I feel confident that it's going to be nice and bold. I'm going to take my circle and stamp the circle stamp right in there. So you could put any marvelous greeting in here. The nice thing about this size circle is it will fit quite a few different greetings. And then we can glue it on to the gold foil. All right.
Is there a trick to knowing which surface to put the glue on and which surface to?
Oh, that's a great question. It rarely matters. It's more your own. That's an excellent question, Julia. Sometimes when we're using like a glitter paper, you need to put the adhesive not on the glitter paper, or put it on both to help the glue gel together. But typically, I guess I tend to put the glue on the thing I've stamped and then press it down. But you could just as easily have put the glue on the gold. I think because I want to make sure I don't have glue along the edges, I put it on the smaller piece. And that's probably the best rule, is if you're gluing onto something, you want to make sure you're not going off the edge. Same thing with putting the paper on the door. If I put the glue on the coral paper, it's possible it would be showing and sticky on the edge. Does that help?
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
thank
great.
you. That makes sense.
So we have these two Dutch doors, and then we're going to put this fun, it's almost like having a wreath on the door, right? So I'm going to position it so that it hangs over a little bit at the bottom. When it opens up, you're going to see a little bit of it on the back. So now when I put my adhesive, Julia, I want to make sure the adhesive is just at the top, because I don't want to stick it closed. Okay, so, but I'm going to use dimensionals, and I have to just pay attention that I put them up at the top part. Okay. I'm so glad you're with us tonight. Those of you on Facebook, those of you here on Zoom, and those of you catching the replay. If you have any questions, a great place to put them is in the comments when it's posted on Facebook. I'm sure to see those. Sometimes when we're working tonight, the chat does get lost. It can get lost for me. So if you have particular questions or comments that you want to share, putting them in the Facebook comments is a great way for me to be sure to see them, because I love questions. They help me learn things. And so I welcome your questions and your comments. Isn't that fun? So we open it up, and now we're going to let's put one more little greeting inside that relates to kindness. This one, let's see if I can find that set. Okay. This is really tiny reading. That's my only complaint about this stamp set, is they are really tiny words, but it says, "Kind people are my kind of people." And I think that's a fabulous greeting. So I'm going to put that in where my Dutch door will open. And just going to put it right at the top here. Oop, not upside down though. Right at the top. I'll have plenty of room to write another message, but just to start it off, kind people are my kind of people, at the top of the paper. So I'll put my adhesive on the back just a little bit and add that to the door. So again, it's got a frame around it. It's a little bit like a surprise when you open it. And then if you have a gift card or a bag of tea or a love note or photographs, isn't it fun when someone sends you a picture? We so rarely print photographs anymore that it is a wonderful gift. Just you can get prints made easily, like at Walgreens or Walmart. I don't know if any of you do that online, but it's not hard to do, to get them loaded up to an online site, and then you can pick them up at the store. or they can ship them to you. And boy, what a wonderful thing that is, that we used to take them for granted, but now pictures are not around a lot. I almost forgot about these fabulous fireflies. I chose the gold foil around the label today because of the gold foil on these fun fireflies. And I thought they are great for summer in July. We're not talking Christmas right now. We're talking summertime fun. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a couple of my little guys on here, these little fireflies.
Can you pinch the wings up a little bit? So
Oh, that's a great idea. Give him a little dimension like he's moving around. Sure. Just kind of fold and stretch them. Even if you do that before you put it on, it might be a little easier too. Just kind of shape them. That's a great idea, Julia. There we go. Let's put on this third one here, okay? So we've got kindness wins. You are so amazing. And then my kind people are my kind of people. So I hope that's been fun for you. Whether you had the coral or the blue and the different combinations, in your envelope, you do have some little fireflies that match. So it's this would be a really fun one to send in the mail. Either go print a picture or go find a photo from your stash, or any love note. This would be they're always fun to get in the mail, but I think this one would be an especially fun day brightener, sunshine card for the summertime. So let's just pull in quick the things we made tonight, and we'll say good night and good wishes to you for the coming month. I will look forward to being with you in August. And those of you who can join us tomorrow at the library, 10 o'clock, we'll have those fun kit opportunities for you and some nice fellowship. It's fun to be together on Zoom. It's really fun to be together in person as well. So Julia, thanks again for being our tech person and our coordinator and putting together those kits for people to pick up. I do the consumable parts, and then Julia and friends at the library pack up the stamps and the ink so that you can have a chance to play with and get some inky fingers yourself. So please give us feedback about that if you're enjoying using the stamps. We'd be happy to continue to do that if they're enjoyed. And we're always thinking of new and exciting ways to share materials. So we appreciate your feedback.
And some people donated a little extra money this month so that we didn't have to charge everybody the full price. So
marvelous. Thank you so much, everyone. That will help us be able to continue to offer this monthly. It's really a joy for me. And I have fun putting together, pieces and parts and helping you learn different techniques and skills. So thank you for that. Thank you, Julia. I hope everybody has a wonderful week ahead and a wonderful July. And we'll see you again soon.